The Baki characters are absolutely massive and some of the most muscular in all of anime. But how would they actually do in a bodybuilding competition? Not just in real life, but against one another. Which one of the Baki characters has the best built physique in all of anime? Well, in this series, that's what we're hoping to find out. So we have this divided into a bodybuilding-esque tier list, starting with the Mr. Olympia, then going down to pro bodybuilder, then amateur bodybuilder, then athletic, then fit, and then So far, we have a lot of Baki characters that could actually compete, then could not, but that's not a big surprise because most Baki characters are freaking massive. So let's go ahead and just do a quick review before we get into our 4 characters for today. So first off, we have our Mr. Olympia characters. These are the ones that are the best built in all of Baki according to bodybuilding standards. Now, if you'll remember, in bodybuilding, we're looking at 4 primary things. That is muscle mass, symmetry, conditioning, and proportions. You kind of have to have all of those. You just can't be absolutely massive. I always go back to this example, Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z, when he turns like ginormous. He's really big, but his proportions are off, and his conditioning is a little off, his symmetry, that sort of stuff. But he'd be like a 10 out of 10 on muscle mass. It's just in bodybuilding, he would do just okay. He wouldn't be a Mr. Olympia because of all those other factors. And so utilizing those factors, that's how we're actually ranking these physiques from a bodybuilding perspective. And then on top of that, we're not just looking at like the open bodybuilding category. Those are the massive guys like your Ronnie Coleman's, Jay Cutler's, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in there. But we're also looking from maybe a classic physique division or a men's physique division as well, because they can also be Mr. Olympias. It's just a different body style. And then going down from that, we have people that could be pro bodybuilders. They have amazing physiques, but just wouldn't quite be the top of the tier like Baki and his brother Jack and even Pickle. And then going down from that, we have people who could compete in bodybuilding, just not at a professional level, like Hanayama and Ali Jr. And then we go down from there to the athletic and then the fit and then the kind of categories. So everyone in this universe is really ripped. It's more like who could not be a bodybuilder in the Baki universe. And today we're gonna be looking at 4 characters specifically. We're gonna be looking at Spec, how the hell do you say this guy's name? Is it Suedo or Pseudo? Or is it something completely different? Let me know in the comments. And then you have Yashazaru, and then our big one for today is Sukune. So let's start with Spec right here. So Spec didn't get too far in the series, but as we know, he's absolutely massive. He stands in at 7'3". That would actually make him a pretty similar physique to the Dutch Giant. Have you guys seen this guy? He's like an actual bodybuilder, and he's 7'2", I believe. He's absolutely massive. Just like compared to like this guy right here is probably like 6 foot tall. This is him next to Jay Cutler. This is kind of what Spec would look like on a bodybuilding stage. He's absolutely massive. And you can tell that he's super muscular, even though we don't get a whole lot of muscular shots of him. We can see that his traps are absolutely massive, his neck is massive, his chest. Unfortunately, we don't have a weight for this guy, but I would say he's well into the 300-pound range. Do you guys remember that brutal fight with Hanayama? It was absolutely insane, and for a lot of people, that was when they just realized, yeah, okay, Baki is a different level than most anime. So as we can see, Spec is absolutely massive. He's ripped too. I think he's lacking in proportions. We don't get a whole lot of physique shots of him, but from what we can see, his arms are just a bit off. His symmetry is a little off and his proportions are off, but he does have a really great physique in general. And based on this, according to like Baki standards, I definitely wouldn't place him in the Mr. Olympia. Probably not a pro bodybuilder, but I think he could do amateur bodybuilding. I think he would do pretty well there. All right, so next up we have Suedo, or Pseudo, or however you say it. So this guy comes in at 6'9", 286 pounds. So this guy is absolutely massive as well. He would be one of the biggest bodybuilders of all time as far as height goes. His weight actually for that height is not that impressive in terms of muscle mass. Sometimes on stage, you'll see people that are about 300 pounds and they're about 6 foot or 5'11", like Big Ramy. So if these numbers are accurate right here, this actually tells us that he's big, but he's not like massive. And we don't get a whole lot of physique shots of this guy, but from what we can see, we can see he's got really good muscularity. I mean, look at the delts right there. Look at the lats, the arms, the chest, everything's absolutely ripped. Not to mention he's got the death face and he's got the muscles in his neck, just like all the Baki characters. It just makes him look absolutely massive. I mean, this guy, if we had more physique shots of him, I think I could even see putting him in the pro bodybuilder division. And remember, this tier list is subject to change until I get to the very end of it. So right now I'm gonna place him in the amateur bodybuilding division right there beside Spec. I think he's actually got a better physique than Spec. I just don't know for sure, unless I had more physique shots to go based off of. All right, so next up we have Yashazaru. He comes in at 6'6", and 441 pounds. I don't know if that's accurate, because if you guys have seen the manga or the anime, he's like absolutely massive and just like towers over Baki. I mean, given this size though, 441 pounds would be absolutely massive for someone that's 6'6", and you could see he's got crazy muscularity. Not to mention his design just makes him look terrifying. But yeah, he's got crazy muscularity. Obviously he's an ape, so his proportions are gonna be a little bit whack compared to like human proportions. But I mean, he's got the muscularity. I mean, he's got really good delts, really good arms, you know, a really good core right there, good quads. Even in terms of like bodybuilding standards, I'm gonna place him in the amateur bodybuilding division maybe, or maybe athletic. It's one of the two. It's just his proportions are so off because he's not human, right? I think he's got a better physique than most guys down here, but I am gonna place him in the athletic for now, although I think he might be an amateur bodybuilder. What do you guys think? Would you place him in amateur bodybuilder or the athletic division? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, so now the moment you've all been waiting for, Sukune, one of the newer characters to be introduced in the Baki universe. This guy is absolutely massive, 6'11", 550 pounds. That is crazy. That would make him by far the biggest bodybuilder of all time. Not only is he big, but he is shredded as well for that size. Yeah, sure, he's not got like 0% body fat, but he is massive. I mean, look at these, and these arms are shredded, this chest is shredded, these legs, I mean, look at the separation right there. In my opinion, he looks less like a sumo wrestler and more like a strongman competitor or a power lifter. Yeah, probably a power lifter, or maybe even a bodybuilder in the off season. Have you seen bodybuilders in the off season? They look interesting because you can tell they're absolutely super ripped and everything, and they have all these muscles, but they also have a bit of fat on them as well. So they kind of look like this. So he looks like a bodybuilder in the off season. If we could see this guy just absolutely shred up and lose like, I don't know, maybe like 100 pounds, I think he might have the best physique in all of Baki, because he's certainly got the muscle mass, and his legs and his arms are absolutely ripped. His chest, yeah, if he just leaned up, maybe not even 100 pounds, maybe like 50 pounds, he would be absolutely massive. He would be the biggest guy on the stage, and he could potentially be the most ripped and even a really good proportioned bodybuilder. I actually really like this guy's physique, and I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. If you were to place him on stage just like he is right here, he would probably be in the amateur bodybuilding division, and he would do okay. He wouldn't do great because his conditioning is off, obviously, but if he were to lean up quite a bit, honestly, like he has 10 out of 10 muscle mass, really good symmetry, really good proportions, I could see him even being in the Mr. Olympia category. But for now, because of the way he looks right there, I've got to put him in the amateur bodybuilding division. But I don't know, I could just see if there's any leaner shots of this guy. I doubt there is, but if there are and you guys know of any, let me know, because I would like to potentially place him up. I really like this character a lot. I would potentially like to see him in the pro bodybuilding division, and who knows, maybe even join Kaku and Mr. Oliva in the Mr. Olympia division. All right, so that's our ratings for today. Only 2 more videos left in this series. Let me know what you think about this series in general. Let me know what you think about these ratings in the comments down below. And at the end of the series, I'll probably do a full recap video where I go over all the characters in just one single video. And who knows with that, I may change up just a few things based on some of your comments. So let me know your thoughts on all of this. And of course, if you made it all the way to the end, go ahead and leave 3 bicep emojis this time. That's how I'll know you watched all the way to this point in the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.